Hello, hello, our visionary entrepreneurs, life changers. How are you? Welcome back to our Momentum Monday. Today is our 148th episode. And welcome to both our Facebook group, Abundant Entrepreneurs, and some of you maybe are watching this from our YouTube channel, Abundance channel. So welcome. And today topic is about fighting for life. And here there is this bowl of my poor little tulips. Now it's the springtime, right? Springtime outside the windows. I know that in my backyard there's like purple flowers. The last week was wow. It's almost gone, and now it's a new tulips. It's growing up like these tulips, but much stronger. Like in my backyard, I could see from my window. It's like green leaves. But this one I bought. You see with this pole, with this box, or how do you call that? And this one I bought Women's Day, March 8th. Today is 19th, right? 18th. How many days? It's just like 10 days, less than 2 weeks. It's already like it's very at the edge of its life. I feel like you can see these leaves are quite yellow, and it just feel like whichever like flowers you bought from those shops, it's not very easy. They need a stronger foundation. For example, the soil, they need more like a nutritious soil. This one, and they did not give me like nutrition stuff I need to buy. And also like I put the water with a little bit of salt, and you can sometimes add a little bit sugar. Hopefully it could save it, but also depends on the water, how often you water it. I know that I should not water too much, so I'm very cautious, but it's still like withering, and it's quite weird, right? Because now it's the springtime, but this little poor plant inside of the bowl I bought from the shop is not surviving long time. You can feel that it's definitely difficult, like totally different from those ones like wildly growing in my backyard. I did not even like took care of them, and let me put this down. And they are growing very healthy. You can see the green leaves and very strong, and even among like herbs and let's say like falling leaves from last winter, and those tulips are still like strongly growing up. And I'm expecting within next week, we will see those like flowers buds and really blossom. And this is the help let me thinking about not just this one. I will share more stories about today. We're about the stories and great inspirations and wisdom, talking about especially about our coaches, consultants, life changers, our visionary entrepreneurs here, right? We are here. We have how many have you been really like fighting for your businesses, fighting for your passion, fighting for what you love to do, and fighting for your call, fighting for your fulfillment, fighting for the success you define? I'm wondering, and please feel free to comment under the video. Let me know how long have you been either coach, consultant, like visionary entrepreneur or business owner. How long have you been on this journey? And I would, no matter how long or short, right? I would really salute to you. I know I'm part of you. I'm proud of myself and also proud of you, because I definitely understand, with 15 years of coaching practice in the business, in entrepreneurship, I know how hard it is, right? Just like this winter, it's like now in New York City, I'm based in New York City, and the winter is so long. Now it's already like later of March. The winter is just like coming back and forth. It's just like, oh, we're looking forward to the springtime. The sun looks shiny, but outside is still cold. And this week it will cold again, and it will rain. You feel like, oh, when the winter will be gone, right? And but the great sign is like all these lives, the lives above the ground already, the lives underground. You can feel that the spring is here, and everything is waking up. Everything, our lives, right? And now it's just thinking about our businesses, our entrepreneurship. How many of us have been, pouring our heart, pouring our passion, pouring our soul to into what I love to do, especially into way what we want to fulfill, what we want to contribute, the values, the gifts, the talents we want to contribute to the services, right? We want to bring to this world. How many of us, have been really pouring that heart, soul, and our efforts into what we love to do and to contribute. It's really, really a journey. I would salute to any one of you, as long as you are, you dare to get on this journey. I know so many, when I was on like LinkedIn, majority people are really like, oh, different positions, celebrating for like a career, right? And how many years they stayed with some companies, or then they change it to different companies, and how many years they fight in the corporate world as well. Also salute to them, because I know that everyone is, especially for the ones who follow their passion and to do what they love to do, and especially contribute their gifts, their values to the society. We should all salute to them and to each other, right? For this journey is not easy. This journey called life. Life itself, it's not easy. Like now we can see that all the inner nature, all the lives, the natural lives are striving to really get out, right? To really find this new opportunity to to really get out and really thrive in this new season. Especially those lives looks like dead already, right? Those so many trees, like so many plants, looks like dead already through the 2 seasons, and now they are awakening again. So this is amazing. The nature is amazing now in our human society, in our entrepreneurship, right? It's also amazing. We can see that so many entrepreneurs, so many business owners, like we fall down, we stand up again, we fail some places, we come back again, right? So it's just like a continuous fighting. And on this journey, and I'm so touched by so many great inspirational stories, so many people's lives. And today I really want to share more about the life story. Okay, salute to the nature's life. They survived the cold weathers and they are coming back again. That's a life, is a miracle life from the nature, from God, and we are part of this nature's lives, right? We are part of the nature. We're part of the universe, and are human beings. Even though it's a pity that we physically life, we could not really like die and live again, right? Physical life, biological life. But in the entrepreneurship, we have this we have the journey, we have so many lives, right? Countless lives, fortunately, on entrepreneurship till the end of our biological life. So before that, we all have our great chances, because it's all like eventually decided by ourselves. Like when you fell down, how you can stand up again, and when you meet big challenges and adversities, how you could really come back again. We make that decision. And by the way, I'm continuing reading my book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Today's not major about this book, but there's a story, a great story, very touched me, and also like very related to today's topic. It's I guess many of you have already heard about this person already, Viktor Frankl. I'm not sure my pronunciation. Frankl, I think it's Frankl. He's the book here, Dr. Stephen Covey called him determinist. He reads in the tradition of feeling psychology, which postulates that whatever happens to you as a child shapes your character and personality and basically governs your whole life. The limits and parameters of your life are set and basically cannot do much about it. It's just like our environment, including like for example physical, sometimes like a physical challenge or gene from a biological gene, like your heritage, right? Or where you born and which family you were born from, those kind of things, and what culture, what race, we cannot decide, right? Like I did not know why when I was in China, for example, I immigrated from China 20 years ago. When I was in China, I did not feel like there's why I'm a Chinese, right? But till I immigrated to the US, see different races of people. And then I was wondering why I was born as a Chinese instead of like other races, right? It's very interesting, this kind of a creation. Like Franco was also like a psychiatrist, a Jew. He was imprisoned in the death camps of Nazi Germany during that time, right? World War II, where he experienced. Hold on one moment. Okay, a round tapping on a he experienced he was experiencing that was so repugnant to our sense of decency that we should like we shudder to even repeat them. Yeah, it's just like such a like memorable history. Nobody want to repeat that, right? Nobody even want to revisit that, and it's definitely like a death journey for those people, for the Jews, and get into that Nazis camps, right? His parents, brother, wife, all died in the camps, or were sent to the gas ovens. No, except for his sister, his entire family perished. Himself suffered torture and innumerable indignities, never knowing from one moment to the next if his path would lead to the ovens or if he would be among the saved who would remove the bodies or shovel out the ashes of those so fated. So it's just like there was no hope at all. Looks like was no hope, no opportunity, no chance to get out. It's totally like the darkness, because I personally experienced those like the pure like darkness of the tunnel. There's no light. I could not, even my journey could not like fighting for my life journey, right? During that like desperation of my life, majority because of psychologically like depression, because the marriage, because the betrayal. So I was like almost like giving up my life, different from his, but I just like from a little let's say a little sense of that kind of a hopeless situation. I had that experience, but I know his situation was like hundreds, thousands of times more difficult, more adversities, right? So because you were taking away your opportunity, almost like taking away your freedom, taking away your dignity as a human rights, right? Were taken away. But one day, he was late and alone in his small room. He began to become aware of what he later called the last of the human freedoms. That kind of epiphany, you can call it the epiphany moment. The last of the human freedoms. All amazing. In jail, in the Nazis' unescapable, the camp, the death camp. It's definitely called a death camp. The freedom his Nazi captors could not take away. He found that little the last ounce of the freedom. They could control his entire environment. They could do what they want to his body. But Viktor Frankl himself was a self-aware being who could look as an observer at that moment. His very involvement, his basic identity was intact. He could decide within himself how all of this was going to affect him. Between what happened to him, or the stimulus, and his response to it was his freedom or power to choose that response. He found that last freedom of him, which could not be taken away by those captors, by those, Nazi captors. And even though his body was controlled, he found it here inside his mind, even his soul could not be fully controlled. He can decide what should be his response, even though his everything like almost taken away. That last ounce of freedom gave him the freedom. So, and he used that power, that mind freedom to survived that death camp, and also encouraged many other ones in that death camp. So that's very touching me. It's like everything is taken away. And of course, like our entrepreneurship business journey, even though no matter how difficult it is, could not compare with that, right? We still have our body's freedom. We still have our human rights. We still have, for example, even our creativity, our decision space, and to see and what's, even though like for example we fail on one thing, one project, one program, we could decide what's the next creative things we can think about, what's the next opportunities, right? We can still create, we can still think about and find opportunities and even create. So compare with his adversity and challenges and death, right? That kind of a environment, ours is almost like nothing. And Dr. Covey mentioned about to discover a fundamental principle about the nature of man. Between stimulus and response, man has the freedom to choose. That choice, the freedom of choice. Oh, I remember. That's why, Tony Robbins, when he wrote his books and his speaking, mentioned about the most important power and make decision or make that choice. That's our freedom, and within the freedom to choose are those endowments that make us uniquely human. In addition to self-awareness, that's our consciousness, right? We have imagination, the ability to create in our mind beyond our present reality. We have conscience, a deep inner awareness of right and wrong, of the principles that govern our behavior and sense of the degree to which our thoughts and actions are in harmony with them. And we have independent will, the ability to act based on our self-awareness, free of all other influence. So he put those components: self-awareness, imagination, conscience, independent will, those willpower, right? So you see, between that space from from the stimulus or from the environment control, like all things out of our control, to our response or to our choice and decision, that's our freedom. So, and that's about Mr. Viktor Frankl's story. So now I remembered his name. And that's the best example and story about fighting for life. And in his case, it's really fighting for life, fighting for his mental life, and especially for his physical life as well, right? Fighting for really like human life. And I'm super happy that he survived it, and he became that kind of a great inspiration for many people, for generations, and for different races of people, for worldwide. So no matter if he's Jew, right? Because of the specific history, he's Jew, but he inspired worldwide all the people on different life journeys, just for the reason of living a better life, living a victory life in a human life. So I really salute to him and thank him. And and there are so many other great inspirations. Maybe not to that level, that extreme level, right? Many other, like our entrepreneurs, our visionary entrepreneurs, like thought leaders, they inspired us. For example, like Oprah Winfrey. I know she's one of a very few female heroes I could really share here, right? And there are so many not so big female heroes. And by the way, I just watched the last 2 weeks ago, right? I watched the movie Cabrini, a wonderful Italian nun. And she also, that's how many years ago? That's hundreds of years ago. From 19, let's say, from 1832 to 1912. Yeah, during that century, the last 2 centuries. And her life is a great, like before Oprah Winfrey is still alive, so it's a great role model. But Cabrini, it's really outstanding women's example as long as a spiritual God's daughter, and how she really from Italy, came to New York, helped immigrants, especially Italian immigrants, because of her order from the Pope, to help them to thrive, especially children and vulnerable ones, to thrive in that very harsh beginning, like immigrants environment, physical environment. They were also fighting at the life, really like physical, biological life level, life or death level, right? She saved so many orphans, and also built up like a nursery school and then hospital, and then internationally her hospitals and medical and charity facilities went to internationally. And I'm so grateful and watch that movie and thankful that movie as well. All the crew, they create this great character again and made her spirit alive again. So that's amazing. And she personally also, she had when she was a child, she almost drowned in the water. She fell into the water, right? She was saved and survived, but then she got a lifetime fear about water. But the movie showed that whenever she had that biggest challenge, because on spirituality, on her like a missionary in New York to save other people, she met so many like challenges to save other people's lives. She many times was led back to her own fear, right, about the water, about life. And she had a severe like lungs and coughing problem, her health challenge. But every time she overcame those like odds, right? Really, the doctor predicted she can only live in her late like 30s. They predicted she can only live, for example, up to 4 years. Will die in her like early 40s. But she fought all those odds, right, with her faith, with her strength, and inner spiritual and also mental strength. She did all this kind of charity work, missionary work, and lived till her 60s. 60s. Let me see. How old she was? Or actually, it was almost around. I remember I counted about almost like 80 years old. But anyway, it's just like she beat all those odds. Really lived like during her age. It's like a longevity. That's amazing, right? That's really like a miracle. So that's a fighting for life, and not just for her own life. She fought for other people's life, and it's amazing. I thank God that He blessed her with a longer life. And so now Oprah Winfrey, she's our modern figure, right? She's still like a so big impact in this world life, and she also experienced almost like a life death experience. When she was young, she's a black woman, struggled the whole race, right? Till today is still struggling with all this discrimination and like even the equality. And she also like because the culture background, because the environment, and she also get very like she got pregnant, she got raped and pregnant during her young age and even before like adulthood, and giving the birth to a child, and even she personally experienced like almost like life death situation. But then she became like followed her call, her passion, become the icon in the media industry. Until today, she's still one of the most influential and impactful women in the society, right? In the US and also internationally. That's a beautiful, like fighting for life story. So it's not just for physical life, and also now it's for mental and spiritual life. And she's still hosting all those kind of shows and programs, and to help people develop not just their um, possibility, right? And not positivity, and also spirituality, and helped so many women, especially vulnerable people, right? And her charity is also reaching to like Africa and to those like vulnerable countries as well. It's definitely a great example. And now other thought leaders, for example, Brendan Burchard. And Brendan Burchard, I know that his story, he shared that we went to his live events. He's also like went through accident, like a car accident, almost lost his life. He went through that kind of a transformation, life transformation from a death to his epiphany, wake up like a young man to find his purpose, to find how to make his life matter, to help millions of other people, entrepreneurs, to really to thrive, right, to become successful. And another example, like if I can remember, yeah, Louis Hughes. He's still young. He's in his, I think, maybe early 40s. He was an athlete, but then because of accident, also like a health challenge, almost like also like a life death situation, he lost his he could not keep pursuing the dream as an athlete anymore, and so he eventually went into a personal development industry. And this zone, he went through this like challenge, right? How to face this kind of a miserable situation, to overcome, to battle for his health, and eventually stand up again and regain his health. And now he's like a handsome, healthy that looks like the mentor in the coaching personal development industry, right? He's because of his athletic background, and now he's healthy, and but using his life transformational story to help many other people, including professional and entrepreneurs. And his show, his weekly show, right, on YouTube is attracting millions of people, impacting millions of people. Tony Robbins himself, I'm thinking about it's very interesting. He did not experience that much kind of a life death challenge, but his like young life, his like teenagers and like childhood, and then his like older teenagers till he's 17. I remember he struggled all his life, right? Struggled for hunger. That's almost like also part of death, right? Like life or death. With that continuous hunger and consistent hunger, his family could not afford, right? He's fighting for his life as well. And when you had that kind of hunger, and that stimulated him a hunger for not just food, but a hunger for how to change his life. And his mom even used a knife to chase him, right? At that level, chase him out of home. And eventually he became independent, become a janitor. And because of some mentors leading, he get to like a Jim Rohn's live seminar, seminar, still like a live seminar. And Tony Robbins is famous for his live seminar now. And during that kind of a transformation, he shared his story how he even get to the banker to get known for his personal investment in his personal development, right? So all those journey, wow, that's amazing. That's also like a great examples of a fighting for life. And now he's sponsoring. He's become one of the most successful coaches, mentors, and life and business strategists, right, in this world. He's still like almost a number one, and he's using his donation to save millions of people's lives, donated to like American food for the strive. He used his programs and his influence to guide other people to donate as well, to save those hunger, save the hunger, save for life as well. So it's amazing stories. And many other examples as I remember. And now I know that one of my my admired celebrities like Celine Dion, she's struggling for the life as well with her health challenge, that kind of a weird like frozen syndrome, right? That frozen life syndrome, that's quite severe. So she's struggling, and she and her whole team is fighting for it as well. So we pray for her. And so many examples, including like my dad now. My dad, he's still in ICU. We're still praying for him. Please pray for him. Very tough struggle. My dad is not a celebrity. He's just an ordinary man. But in our heart, he's a giant. Since when I was a child. Now, he's not that tall anymore, right? As after I became an adult. But in my heart, he's always that kind of caring, supportive, passionate for life. That's a great life. I know now it's almost like the end of his life, almost like we're talking about how he could not speak anymore. He's wearing the oxygen supply, and in the hospital now today it's almost like 80 days. Majority of his time is in ICU. He went through like a heart surgery, but after heart surgery the situation is getting worse. He did not really like survive even the ordinary hospital room, and he went back to the ICU, and now in the ICU totally countless days, and he's lying down on the bed, almost like it's like counting his last days. We all did not expect that in his late 70s. Now people like if really lucky, right, you can get to 80, 90, not very difficult today, right? But now he's in his late 70s because of a heart surgery. Now he's almost like at the very end of his life. We did not know when, which day, almost like counting the days he couldn't live. And we're trying to communicate with him, even though he could not speak. We're trying to communicate with him how much more he could sustain. And now, many days he's having tears without speaking. We know that he's suffering, and suffering. He's fighting. He's still fighting for his life. He's wearing the oxygen supply. He's getting all this kind of blood filtering, all this kind of ICU's harsh equipments. Super difficult and challenge. And I could not imagine when I was in that kind of situation, how much I could sustain. And I may ask for, to stop all this treatment. I may ask for that, if I could imagine that. But my dad is still fighting there. 80 days in the hospital, majority time in the ICU. So I salute to him, salute to his life power, still fighting for life. And so a story about me. I also fought for life, and I just shared the suicidal quite some years ago, 7-8 years ago. I went through that suicidal journey, and that's a spiritual, totally not just for physical life, but also for mental, for spiritual life, that kind of a death challenge as well, right? I totally was like dead in my spirit, in my heart, in my mind. It was like dead. Only my physical body was still alive, and I would try to suicide to end that suffering. So I totally understand that kind of fighting, because every day I was in tears in that kind of fighting moment until I could not fight anymore, mentally, spiritually, right? I really tried to give up, but God saved my life, saved my physically, and then eventually saved me mentally and spiritually. And now I'm here as entrepreneur, as abundance coach, fighting for the purpose, the call God gave to me, fighting in entrepreneurship, fighting for in the business, in the market, in the really a harsh business environment, right? So that's fighting for another level of life, not just for physical life, but for the life's fulfillment, for the life's level, for the vision God gave to me, for the dreams God gave to me, for other people, for our entrepreneurs, right? All in my community, people, and who those like entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants who are called to fulfill, who are still struggling there, who are still have so many challenges there. From my journey, from my know-how, from my practice, I know I can help so many of them, right? So I'm fighting here, fighting for myself, fighting for my fulfillment, fighting for you, for your fulfillment, for your life's gifts, for your call, for your influence, for your impact, for your contribution, for your service to help many other people, for those people like you are called to help. So I'm here to fight for both my life and also for your life. So I want to invite you to fight together this journey. There are so many our pioneers, right? Our pioneers, like my father now is also by our shoulder by shoulder. Now is fighting, still fighting, still fighting. Don't give up, right? And as long as just like Viktor Frankl's, his epiphany, that kind of a last freedom, as long as we still have this choice, as long as we can still make choice and make decision, and as long as we still have opportunities, as long as we still have opportunities to create, right? As long as we still have the space, the how to say, the entrepreneurship given to us, we will fight, we will keep fighting, and we will keep creating, we will keep contributing, we will keep discovering. Last week I talked about that private victory, really win our private victory. That's every day is fighting for our life, fighting for our call, fighting for our vision, fighting for our dream, fighting for our life's fulfillment, fighting for the people who are waiting for us to help, fighting for this. This is our private victory, the first insight, that kind of that purpose, that call, that energy, that stay with God. And the latest things happened to me. It's just this past Saturday. Every Saturday, I'm now bringing kids to swimming, and we are keeping this kind of habits every week, as much as we could. And so far, we've already been continued this for almost 1 or 2 years now, since pandemic. Since pandemic reopened the swimming pool, so we've been consistent majority time. And this Saturday, the past Saturday, I was swimming And like my kids and I now are trying to set up some goals, right? For example, my son is now he's become, I'm super happy for him. Like he used to be very like laid back, not very have goal and a very clear goal. Even though he's a great student, he's good at his study and always finish his homework, right, and do his work needed. But he's not like a big goal person. He normally do not set up his goal. But now I noticed that he's loving his swimming more and more. Even though he asked me to cancel his other like things, he did not feel his like interest or passion, right? For example, piano and basketball and painting, right? Those things he started since that he was a young, like very 6 years, 7 years old, right? And now he asked me to cancel. Initially, I was very worried about him. I said, why? How could he like strive as a young man without all this kind of a practice, right? I was concerned. I said, why you now get so much freedom time? What would you do? And now he used to be like a great reader, and now he's not even like reading that much anymore, like especially physical book, right? I have so many physical book I was inviting him to read, but he's not. He's like I saying all those like bad signs, right? Like playing games now, like after his homework, and not reading much. And occasionally I know he's still reading, but a majority of time on his cell phone or on his laptop he's reading. He's still reading, but a majority of time is fiction books, right? This is like now so many kids are like that way, and even more kids are not reading at all. Even like fiction books, maybe they're not reading. They are just like watching short social media videos, right? Those Instagram or TikTok things. That's even more like worrying about them, right? So I'm concerned about my son. And now this year he's 12th grade year. So he just finished. We supported him, and finally he finished his college applications, and now we're waiting for the result and cross fingers for him. So now, and fortunately this year he registered for 3 APs, so still good students, right? But he still get a lot of like freedom now during weekend. So I was concerned what he would do. But now he's finding his passion, interest in swimming, because swimming is helping his improving his situation of asthma. Let's say asthma, the breathing issue, right, with his lung. So he found that it's helping, so he's having more motivation into it, and the more swimming. And remember when he was a young kid, we need a lot of encouragement to, and even bribing him to learn swimming, right? Eventually he grasped this, how to swim, and fortunately before pandemic, both my kids went to like swim team, right? Before pandemic, they learned the four forms, 4 strokes, right? It's what free stroke, backstroke, a breaststroke, and a butterfly. So they learn the 4 forms. And so now they are like self-training themselves, because now they are too old to get really into, even though they're just still like teenagers, right? It's like too much homework, and also they feel like it's too much for them to go back to swimming team. So they do not want to go back to swim team, but they want to practice by themselves. So I'm glad now every week when we go swimming, they are holding themselves right accountable. And like for example, now my son is always urging me to go to swimming earlier. He said, Mom, because they close by 9:30 p.m. I mean, after dinner, we do not have too much time, so always urge me to cook dinner or eat dinner earlier, so we have more time. He wants to get more than like around 1.5 hours to keep swimming. So, for example, last time, 1 hour, within 1 hour, he swept almost like, let's see, he counted laps, those Olympic size laps. He swam 66 or 70 around that for 1 hour. If it's go over a little bit 1 hour, like 1 hour 20 minutes, he could swim like 90. Like this past week, he counted 90 laps. So compared with them, with the teenagers or with kids, I'm much behind. I'm just like I learned swim all by myself, while I was watching my kids when they were learning. So a few years ago, I learned how to do the, how do you call that? This is a breaststroke. Yeah, it's just like a frogging, like a frog's position, right? So I just figure out that it's still my maybe not a right posture, but I learned how to swim. I could survive the laps. So inspired by them, I started to count my laps. initially I thought, oh, if they can swim like within 1 hour 66, I should be at least like or 40 or something, right? I was taking granted like that. So this past Saturday, I start to count. And to my surprise, I just found when I get to like let's say 10 laps, it's already past like a half an hour. Wow. I said, wow, it's not like what I expected. I was quite much slower than them. So eventually, so on this Saturday, I set up a goal. I said I should be like before they close 9:30, right? I want to get up earlier to have a shower because I'm quite a little bit slower than the boys. So I do not want my son to wait for me. So I think, okay, by 9, 10 or 15 something, right? I should be able to swim 30 laps. So I set up the goal for 30 laps. Boy, so difficult after like almost like 16, 18, around that, a little bit over half of my target. I found it's already difficult. I went from the family pool, the only 3 feet like that's a pool, to the depth one, the 7.5 inches pool, right? Because finally it's lucky after around the dinner time, not so many people, so I can find a lane, a slow lane, the slowest lane for myself. If there's some other people, some other ones is swimming inside of it, I dare not to go there because if they swim too much, I feel like I could get drowned, right? So I waited till I get just like a lane just all by myself, the slowest one, by the edge of the swimming pool. I have that kind of a better sense of security, right? So like around the 18 laps, I feel like so difficult now already. I feel like a little bit tired already. My gosh. But then I said today's target is 30 laps. And I was thinking about my dad still fighting in the ICU. I said, oh God, this is, compared with my dad's challenge, this is nothing. I will continue. So I keep counting, keep swimming. 19, 20. It's at every 2 rounds, right? Like a 20, a 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. It's so difficult, more and more difficult, and especially the most challenging part. Around the 23, I remember, I felt like my finger, my small, like a pinky. This one is what? It's pinky, right? This one is not working. This one is not working. It's like during my swimming, I feel like, oh, this one is like losing. It's like floating away like that. Oh, I get scared. It's just like my little fingers are not listening to my control. I feel like, oh, maybe that's a cramp, right? So I took off my rings I was thinking about maybe it's because of a blood circulation, right? So I went back to the shower room to pee, to like drink some water, and to get myself more like pumped again, right? Because I said I cannot stop here. I need to finish my 30 laps. So I went back again, and now I feel like again my pinky after like even before I get close to the shore, right? The pinky is like drifting away again. Oh my God! So when I get there. So I get up again on the deck to do a little bit of stretching. I want to get the blood circulation. So I was doing things like this, and because I feel like my fingers, like the end circulation is not so good because I feel like a little bit of coldness. My fingers, my feet, a leg, even a leg, I feel a little bit weak. And I know that night I did not eat much, and I just eat a little bit of sushi, not so much protein, and not enough like a supply, right? Energy supply. Gosh, it's like 20s, around 26. It's almost like I feel like it's very difficult. The last 4, every lap, I feel like it's so long. Why it's so long, right? Standard, like Olympic standard. I got that kind of a fear back to me, that kind of a drowning fear, because I used to have the water fear when I was not being able to swim. So that fear is coming back again. And like for 1 or 2 moments, I feel like because of the fear, I could suddenly almost forget how to swim. That kind of a fear. Okay, so so the last few laps, almost every 1 or 2 laps, I get back to the deck to do the stretching, to like how to say, swing my leg, and to do the squatting and to get the blood up. So hopefully I'm doing this as well to get my blood into my fingers. And that every stroke, I feel like it's almost like I'm fighting for life. That's today's why I'm thinking about this title, Fighting for Life. When I was in that pool, I was thinking about I'm fighting for life. I'm not just fighting for myself life. I'm fighting for my dad's life as well. I said, God, let me swim this for my dad. I want to fight this for him. And please help my dad. Help him fighting in the ICU as well. So I'm here fighting together with him. Even though it's thousands of miles away, I'm fighting for him. I'm fighting for my call. Fighting for God, your mission to me as well. So the last, I still remember clearly, the last lap went to another side and I need to get back to my original side, right? That one is the most difficult one, but I was telling myself, you can make it, you can make it. I was like doing this and doing this to get the blood into my finger. And I was telling my pinky, do not listen to me, okay? Listen to me. Let's do this final one. And also at the same time, when I was in the water doing a breaststroke, I said, Dad, I was talking that to myself. I was swimming. I said, Dad, I'm swimming this for you, for my dad, for my dad. And God, please with me. God, please with me. I was with that kind of extra energy to me. And I made it. I made to the another end of the shore, right? The swimming pool. And I survived that kind of a fighting for life. And I also felt that kind of a little victory inside of me, telling myself that yes, you can make it. When you set up that goals, you can make it. When you set up the goals in any part of your life, you can make that decision, you can make it. Okay, you can challenge yourself to stretch, and fight for life and make it. So I'm super glad that I hold myself accountable and also fight that kind of life for myself, for my dad, for really for God's call, for God's mission, for God's. I said, thank God, thank you. After I finish that, the victory is not for me at all. The victory is for God, for His call, for His protection, for His blessing, for His power for us. Okay, so that guidance. And I'm super thankful. And today I want to share this message with you. No matter where you are, no matter at what stage, no matter how difficult you may be still fighting for any reason, right? Either it's for your physical life. And during the weekend, I heard another friend, a very young friend, actually younger than me, a young mama with 2 kids, younger kids. And she said she just survived like a cancer surgery and she's now recovering. I prayed for her. And so many of us, right, maybe because of your health. And then last night, actually, I worked in late time just for me and my daughter's nonprofit, our nonprofit charity work. It's for eczema, for her Goodbye Eczema community people. I shared those, I reorganized the posts and the content, all these links to our recommended, the things we tried, right? Those products, those like lotion, sunscreen, shampoo, all those kind of a basic maintenance, kind of a like skin maintenance products we tried, we personally tested, we recommend to them. And also the knowledge links, I took all my like extra time to find those links for them, the best resources. So and use my coaching way, right, to empower them, to help them, how to encourage them that like different from other experts, so-called experts or doctors. The majority, almost all doctors are saying that eczema could not be healed, but I'm telling them it could be healed. It could be controlled by yourself, by holistic ways. So I'm providing all these resources in that group. So I did extra a few hours to work for that, nonprofit, and purely for my heart to serve, to contribute to this world. And this morning, when I saw at least one person liked it, and I thought I would at least one person benefit from it. And so far, that group, Goodbye Eczema group, has over 460 people. And I want more people could be benefit from it, right? We are just contributing. My daughter is quite busy in her high school, but we are still trying to like regularly contribute to it, to contribute to our knowledge, our encouragement, our resources to help those people. So it's definitely I thank God for His call, for His this all this kind of the gifts, talents He's blessing us to contribute to this work. I say, God, my life is yours. I know that since my suicide, that epiphany time, the years ago, I told God, I said, God, I know that my life is yours, and I'm here for your mission. I'm here. And when one day, because for example, if I will be like my dad on the deathbed, I will not have fear. I feel like God, if you used me for all your purpose, and if it's time for me to go, I will peacefully go. I will not fight like just to try to fearfully like, still grasp any kind of opportunity to live. But if it's really that last moment, I will feel peace with God, and so that's why while I'm still alive, I say, God, use me, use me, use my resources, use my gifts, use the life you created to contribute for the purpose, for the call, for the mission you want me to fulfill. So I'm here for that. So every day I'm fighting for not physical life, I'm now fighting for the call, for the mission I'm here to fulfill. I'm here to fight for you. And when you are the one, I know maybe not everyone I could serve, right? But if this right one showed up, and if my message resonated with you, I know that if I'm called to help you to step up for your call and stand out as a confident expert and thought leader in your zone, especially for our coaches and consultants, to use your gifts, talents, expertise to serve other people, I'm here to call you to fight. I'm here to fight for you together. Let's shoulder by shoulder fight together, just as when I was in a swimming pool, fight even through thousands of miles, right? Fight together with my dad for his life, for his peace, for his, energy and strength to sustain the harsh, very harsh ICU treatment. I'm here to fight for you. And it's like fight for the life. I will use that last ounce of strength to fight for your success, fight for your fulfillment, fight for your people to get the gifts, to get your contribution, to get your value. Okay? So let's fight together. So that's why I want to invite you for this Thursday. Every Thursday now I'm doing this unrolling. But the earlier you get into it, the better for your fulfillment, the better for your battle, for your people to get your help. So this Thursday, we are doing the live masterclass again to help you launch your profitable and impactful coaching business in 90 days. Because so many of our clients, they've already proven that under 90 days, they can do that. You can do it as well, even from like just ideas without a clear direction for the business. We help them to launch your business within 90 days to as a influencer, as a coach, to impact their people, so you can make it as well. Okay, so no matter where you are now, if you are already in the coaching but you are still struggling with clarify your niche, and especially how to serve your market, how to generate that impact, we are here to help you to stand out, to launch and impact as an expert and thought leader, so that you can really attract your dream clients to serve. All right, so you become that impact leader and you attract the right people into your world to serve. And we will help you using the seven-step abundance movement launch model. So we'll share the details with you during our masterclass. So I will share the link here soon, and make sure that you will register and attend our live masterclass. And also we have the access, like a package you can register for, like right away accelerating masterclass as well. You can choose either wait for our live class on Thursday, or you can get your package, the accelerating masterclass packaging right away. Okay, with just like very small investment. All right, so you have the freedom, you have the choice. You can always make that freedom choice between the things happen to us, our environment, to your response, to your reaction, to your like what the creation, the impact you can make. That's our freedom. Let's make you let's help you to become that leader, to make the best decision and to make this best creation, become the transformation leader, become the thought leader that you can help many other people, many other lives as well. So let's fight together, fight for our lives and for other people's lives together. Okay, we'll see you soon. Take good care, everyone. See you soon. Bye bye.